You know when you read one of those stories, a really terrifying encounter, and you can't help but wonder what was really going on? Well, beyond the jump scares, there are these powerful psychological patterns at play, patterns that predators know how to exploit and that survivors somehow use to escape. So today, we're going to break down these chilling, real-life encounters and really get into the psychology behind the horror. So this quote, it's from a guy who just went to buy a used treadmill. And, well, he almost didn't make it back out of the house. His words, they just perfectly capture this feeling that almost every survivor talks about. This deep, lingering confusion and this bone-chilling realization of just how close they came to total disaster. I mean, on the surface, these things seem completely random, right? Just terrifying, unlucky situations. But they're not. They're all connected by a very specific and very dark psychological playbook. And by the end of this, you'll see exactly what hidden patterns tie them all together. Okay, so let's dive right in. The first and honestly the most critical pattern is the lure. See, predators don't just stumble upon their victims, they build a trap. And the most effective trap is always built on one thing: isolation. So, how do they do it? Well, they tap into our most basic human instincts. They know we can't resist a good deal. They know that a lot of us are just wired to stop and help someone who looks like they're hurt. Every single lure you see here is designed to pull on our empathy or our desire for a bargain, all for one reason: to get the target somewhere alone, somewhere no one can see and no one can hear what happens next. And that's the absolute key here. It doesn't matter if it's a remote gas station, a quiet stretch of highway, or a creepy mansion deep in the woods, the goal is identical. The whole setup, the friendly text, the sad story, the plea for help, it's all just a carefully built road leading to one place, a place with no witnesses. All right, so now that we get just how crucial isolation is, let's look at the specific moves predators make once they have you where they want you. This isn't just chaos, believe me, it's a step-by-step process of deception and control. Just think about how this plays out. First, they create a story that seems totally legit. Hey, I'm selling a mirror on Craigslist. Simple enough. Second, they isolate you, suggesting, hey, let's meet at this empty gas station halfway. Third, they start testing your boundaries. The second you feel a little weird about it, they lay on the guilt. Oh, come on, I already drove 30 minutes to get here. They're pushing you to stay. And then finally, once the trap is set, that's when they show you who they really are. And this slide, this is where the sheer level of deception really hits you. The victim thought she was meeting some random guy named Ethan. The reality? It was John, a guy from a really bad date who had then been stalking her for 2 months, just waiting for his chance. This wasn't a random thing at all. It was a premeditated hunt. Now, let's get into what is, for me, one of the most viscerally unsettling patterns we see in these stories. It's not just about what these people do. It's about how they are. So many survivors describe their attackers as acting in a way that is just profoundly not human. It almost always starts with the eyes. The guy who was supposed to buy a couch, Carson, he was described as just staring, with this blank, creepy, emotionless face. Then there's the story of the intruder, just sitting on a family's couch in the dark, wide, lifeless eyes, a fixed, horrible smile, and just complete stillness. Not blinking, not talking, just watching. And finally, the 2 men in that remote cabin. They just stood there, motionless, in the dark. The victim said they just watched him, like creepy mannequins. This pattern of dead-eyed, silent observation is a terrifyingly common thread. This deeply unsettling feeling, it actually has a name: the Uncanny Valley. We are hardwired as a species to recognize and react to human emotions, so when you see a person who looks human but gives off none of those signals, no blinking, no reacting, no emotion, it triggers this primal alarm bell in your brain. And of course, this whole effect is cranked up to 11 by isolation. With no one else around, it's just you and this thing that looks human but feels dangerously wrong. So you're faced with these cold, calculated, and frankly, inhuman tactics. What's happening on the other side? Well, in pretty much every single one of these survival stories, a hero shows up just in time. Your gut instinct. It's your brain's ancient alarm system responding to the predator's wrongness. This is from the guy in the mansion with the treadmill. Before his tires got slashed, before the trap was sprung, his body was already screaming at him. And this isn't just a metaphor. Survivors consistently talk about this powerful, physical sensation, an aching feeling that is an unmistakable warning sign. But here's the internal battle, right? On one side, you have that raw, primal gut feeling screaming at you to run. But on the other, you have a lifetime of social conditioning whispering, don't be rude, don't overreact, don't make a scene. Predators absolutely count on this conflict. They are banking on our politeness to shut down our most powerful survival instinct. And this whole struggle is made so much harder by something called normalcy bias. Basically, our brains are desperate to fit whatever is happening into a normal, understandable context. It's a mental shortcut that usually works, right? It keeps us from panicking, but in these situations, it's a huge liability. We start trying to explain away the red flags. Maybe they're just having a weird day. Maybe the door is just broken, because the alternative is just too terrifying to accept. So after breaking all this down, the isolation, the deception, that internal battle with your intuition, what's the single most important lesson here? What's the thing that separates a survivor's story from a tragic headline? Ultimately, it all comes down to this one simple truth. The Predator's entire playbook, the lore, the isolation, the guilt trips, it's all designed to make you second-guess yourself, to make you feel awkward or rude or paranoid. They create a world where ignoring your gut feels like the polite, normal thing to do. Your survival depends entirely on you doing the exact opposite. That ache in your stomach, that little voice in your head that says something is just off, that's not paranoia. It's your oldest, most reliable survival signal firing off. It's your brain processing data way faster than your conscious mind can keep up. And in those moments that truly matter, the most important question you can ever answer is the one right here on the screen.